Good morning, up at first light. I'm fishing a black country canal. I've just cast out. I've fished here a few times recently, so I know the depth, I know what's in front of me. In fact, my rod's already made up from the last time I was here. So, as soon as I got to the water's edge, I was able to put some bait out, brown crumb, mixed maggots, and then a couple of minutes or so later, assemble the rod, get the net up, get the chair out. In that time, it will help the fish to start feeding. One of the keys, especially at this time of the year, is go to where the fish are rather than expect them to come to you. I'm by a lock. You can probably hear the water movement, and that's where you will find fish, especially during the winter, because the water starts to become quite clear. And I've got one first cast. It's a perch, the fish that I'm after. The water becomes quite clear, so the fish will shoal up, and they'll also go to places where they feel safe and secure, and of course where there's food. I'll just get the hook out in a moment. It's not deep, it's just in the corner of the mouth. I think I need my glasses for that one, to be honest. Just putting the dorsal up there. Lovely, aren't they, perch? They are my favourite species, after all. I'm not fishing far out at all. By the lock, you've got deep water close in. In fact, the structure will go right the way down to the bottom. It's quite narrow, so as the boats come in and out, then they need deep water, because they just about fit in, don't they, when they actually enter the lock itself. I would say I've got a few fish out there, hopefully perch. Last couple of visits or so, I've had roach initially, and then the perch have moved in, and the roach have done a disappearing act. You often find that. And then you're catching small perch. This hasn't happened for the last 2 or 3 visits on the canal, but you're catching small perch, one after the other, and then it goes really quiet. And you think, oh, they've moved on. Well, they may have, because a bigger perch has switched in. So what you try to do as an angler is, although you are this side of the water, you attempt to imagine what's going on beneath the surface. So whether it's the fish feeding or not feeding, you try and work out in your mind why that's the case. It's good to do that. It's again that watercraft that I've mentioned so much in recent blog entries. In particular, watercraft, whichever angle you're coming from, gives you the edge. It might be that one fish when no one else has caught. It might be putting yourself onto a shoal of perch when someone else 50 meters along is sitting there for half a day and catching nothing. It's about thinking your session through before, thinking it through while you're there, and of course on the way back home, giving it some thought as well. A second perch. It's a slippery customer this time. I've just had a hook pull as well on a better fish. I would have certainly needed the net for that one. It was, as I said earlier, the pattern. The small fish, in this case not the roach but the small perch, they have been feeding. I've been catching those, and then just a lull, a short lull in proceedings. Float went, and I struck into a much better perch on the canal where I am. £1 a fish, or £1 perch, is a good one. £2 is a specimen. Anything else above that, you're talking real quality fish indeed. Everything's about perspective, isn't it? The venue that you're on. If there aren't 20-pound carp in there, you can't catch them. So a 10-pound fish might be a specimen. Roach, if there aren't any 2s in there, a 1-pound roach will be a very good fish. Don't go chasing weights alone, but rather the weight of the fish in terms of the other species or the other fish of that species in the venue. And that way you won't be disappointed. I had a bad day today. I only caught 5 1-pound perch. Well, from here, that would be a very good day indeed. The reverse is happening today. I normally start off with the roach and then the perch take over, but this one fancied a piece of the action. It's quite lively, so I'm going to get this one back. I'm holding it quite firm. That's important. You don't want to drop fish regardless of the size. I've had so many perch, I've genuinely lost count. Just that one roach until now. That's not a bad fish for the canal. As I said earlier, it's all about perspective, isn't it, in terms of individual fish weights.